You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mike Yahoo.
Hey, what's up, Market Moose? This is Mike from The Moose on the Loose. Welcome to Business Friday. I have to be honest, it's like one of my favorite days because I get to talk about anything I want, and I just love it. So today, I want to talk about the fact that you could jump into entrepreneurship with or without a safety net. And having a safety net is actually very, very important, but not necessarily the type of safety net that you may think of. Before I had my business, I always wondered, like, how does this guy did it? You know, like how did that happen? Did he had like love money? Did he had like $100,000 in the bank? Maybe he got like supports from his parents, or he just got like super lucky. But every single time I was looking at an entrepreneur, I was wondering, well, how can you go from like having a job, not having a business, literally, and then fast forward a few years later, you have like a business, you have employees, revenues, and the products and so on. And I'm like, that sounds like unrealistic, like very difficult to achieve if I don't have like a lot of money on the side to start the business. So now that I am 7 years in, I can tell you a little bit more about this story. And I thought, well, now that I found a way, it's probably not the only way, definitely not, but I just wanted to share how I was able to make that jump. Kind of funny because I didn't have any money when I decided to go all in on dividend stocks rock. In fact, I was completely broke. I had like maybe like $2,000-$3,000 in my bank account, which was not enough to pay for all my bills by the end of that very same month. So that was July in 2017. And I knew that by August 1st, I needed to generate a lot more money from the business because that would not work. So as I said, no emergency fund, no money aside, and I still made that jump. However, I had like other strategies in mind. So of course, I'm not telling you to do exactly what I did. If you have a business in mind, I just want to share my story to inspire you and maybe give you like a few heads up if you're thinking about some other ways to have safety nets. Because I didn't just like go all in like blindfolded and not caring about anything, right? So first, I had a few backups. I knew that if I had to, I could take money away from my RRSP. So in my 20s, I was working 3 jobs, putting a lot of money aside. So I had enough money in my retirement account, not counting my pension, but just in my RRSP, to live almost 2 years if we are like going for the bare minimum. I knew that I could deplete my RSP account and it would give me about 2 years to try my business idea. It was definitely not ideal to do that because if you withdraw money from your RSP while you're young, well, you're taxed on it. Well, that's one. And the second thing is you cannot put that money back. So that would have not been my first plan or my favorite plan, but it was there to help me try it out. The second backup plan that I had, again, a bit extreme, was to sell my house. I had like some equity on it. While I was traveling, we rented the house. So it was just like paying for like just the mortgage and stuff. So when I came back, I was still stuck with those payments. But I thought, well, worst comes to worst, I'm selling the house. We're going back to an apartment, and then I downsized my lifestyle. Again, very not ideal, especially with 3 kids going into an apartment. But I mean, we lived in a small RV for a year. So I thought that's not the end of the world either. I can definitely do that. And finally, the third safety net I had was probably like the best one actually, was my skills, my ability to generate $100,000 a year. So In my 20s, I was able to generate over $100,000 in revenue because I was working 3 jobs. So I knew that I could do that again. I mean, it's tough, it's not fun, but if you work a lot of hours, you're going to end up doing something. And that's what I did when in my 20s, and that worked well. In my 30s, I was able to generate the same $100,000, but with my career as a financial planner. So I thought, well, you know what? If DSR doesn't work, I can always go back to my financial planning job. I was really good at it. I kind of liked it anyway, so it was not like a problem of like, oh, I hate my life and I don't want to go there. So I thought, well, I have those skills. I have this ability. I've done it like twice already to generate about 6-figure income to support my family. So I can do it again. As you can see, like those 3 safety nets were not ideal. Like taking money from the RSP would have depleted my net worth very fast and would have triggered unnecessary taxes. Selling the house would have been a big hit on our lifestyle. That would have not been fun. And going back to my old job, working like 3 jobs to generate the same amount of income. All right, you can do it, but it's not perfect. But at least I knew that I can count on those skills and nobody can take away those skills from you. So that's really important. The life actually put my best friend on the way, and thanks to him. So I know you're listening to this podcast and you're probably smiling right now. But what really happened is I was fortunate enough to have my best friend there to support me and to lend me some love money in the meantime, so I can compensate for the small amount that I was missing between how much I was growing the revenue and what was missing to run the business. So he was there for a few years, not every month, of course, because I mean that would have like gone up very quickly, but from time to time he was always there to support, and that's thanks to him that I was able to do that without touching my RSP, without touching my house, without going back to have another job. But what I did on my side is instead of dreaming that, oh yeah, I'm going to build a business, going to be amazing and everything's going to work well, what I did is I calculated like a lot. So I knew that at first I needed to make money quick. So I decided to work very hard and write a lot of articles on Seeking Alpha, because back then I was able to make enough money to generate income from Seeking Alpha, plus like doing a few webinars in September's of that year to get the membership jump a little bit, and both combined was enough to most of the time cover for the business expenses plus my life expenses. But thank God I had my friends, so I did not have to go into my RSPs. So when you're about to jump into an entrepreneurship journey, what is important here is to have a very good friend. Just joking. What is more important is actually to have multiple safety nets. It's like multiple plans. The idea was always, though, to go all in and never to go back. But I needed to know how I could make this happen for like a few years, because sometimes it takes months, it takes maybe years to get your idea grow enough so that you can live off it. And that was pretty much the case. I mean, between 2017 and 2019, the business was more into survival mode. We're just trying to generate just enough to cover fees, and then in 2020 everything changed, and since then we've been able to grow the business, pay off the debt, invest in the business, invest in the platform, making it better every single year, and it's just great. But that's all started with that crazy idea of like quitting my job as a private banker with not really an emergency fund or anything, just hoping and that everything would work well. But I knew that I had a plan, a very solid plan. So it was all a matter of like working very hard to make it happen. So I hope that I gave you a few ideas if you're about to build your own business. I can tell you today that it was one of the best decisions of my life, not only from a financial point of view, but more like a lifestyle and just overall. I'm super happy of doing what I do. I can help a lot of people invest with conviction. I can help them to retire happy, and it makes just my life better. So I want to thank you guys, if you're listening to this podcast, it means a lot. I want to thank you if you are a DSR member, because it's thanks to you that I can live my dream. And my dear friend, I want to thank you too, because you're a big part of this adventure. So anyways, I'm just feeling super grateful this Friday, and that's it. So I hope that you are going to have a great weekend. I'm going to let you go, and we're going to come back on Monday with another Moose on the Loose. In the meantime, don't forget to stay invested.
Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to the Moose on the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy the show and do your due diligence after it.